like a man who's not afraid to tell on himself. It's like, I know, Dad. I know.
Have I got a podcast for you?
Welcome to Then You Ruined It, a podcast where two friends who refuse to meet in real life give each other plenty of reasons to stick to that opinion.
So we celebrated my birthday the other night.
Happy birthday. Was it yesterday?
No. My actual birthday now was 10 days ago.
Oh, okay.
As of this recording.
Good.
No. Not that you care if you missed my birthday or not. It's always a shock when we find that out. It's like, oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Guess I wasn't on Facebook that day. Sorry.
That does not matter. Trust me. I see those Facebook wishes come in, and I hate the people that have to, they feel like they have to respond to it, like, at the end of the day. Like, thanks so much for the well wishes, guys. I had a great day. I was like, no, people wish me happy birthday. I'm not going to, I have no social contract my end to fulfill.
Yeah, my wife makes me respond to everyone, and I'm like, I don't want to. They just clicked a button. Why can't I just click like?
Exactly. Yes. What happened to the poke? Why can't we just poke each other back and forth?
I would love to poke you back and forth. That would be great.
I think it's still a function. I think you just have to, like, dig for it. There's one friend that I have that will, like, randomly every, like, 2.5 years poke me. And I'm just like, touche.
You got me.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that.
In 2 years, I'll sneak up on you.
My daughter and I have started playing a game where we ambush each other with Hadoukens. The goal is to Hadouken the other person in the stomach when they're not expecting it.
Do you put your hands together and just, like, punch them in the stomach? Like, How do you do a Hadouken?
You do the Hadouken, but obviously our chi is not strong enough to fire an actual Hadouken. We have not given into the Shinko Hadouken rage, but you can still put your hands together and go, Hadouken! Right in someone's stomach. And they go, oh, you got me. Anyway, carry on.
Okay. I am not teaching my children that. They do not need to know any fighting game moves. My son has fly off the couch and flail down to a science, so he doesn't need anything else in his repertoire. So yes, as I was saying, we were celebrating my birthday. So we went out to a restaurant. Our plan was to go to a different restaurant, and that one closed earlier than we had thought it was going to, and it's a very exclusive, like, barbecue restaurant that's amazing, but they're only open for 7 hours a day. So if you don't get in there and get the good stuff before they sell out of it, you're just out of luck. So
those are the best.
Like, I don't want to stress about my birthday. I just want to, go eat food. So let's just go to this other place that's nearby and we like as well. So we went there. It's a taco place, and we got our food, and I'm there with my wife and my kids, my sister-in-law and her family, which is her husband and daughter, and my father-in-law. So there's 8 of us. And we're enjoying dinner, and as is usually the case, if I eat a meal and I'm there for long enough after I eat most of the meal, I'm going to need to go to the bathroom. So I get that need, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, excuse me, I'm going to go to the bathroom while you guys talk and whatever else you're going to do. The kids are playing on the tablet.
I totally forgot you're the only man to poop in every Chili's in all of Virginia.
I don't eat at Chili's very often, but if I did, yes, I would definitely have.
Okay, every Zaxby's. I
should say soiled. I've never gone into Zaxby's. That's not true. I did one time when we were traveling, and I remember going to the Zaxby's very specifically because standing on the floor using the urinal, the floor was so slippery with pee or whatever else it was. My feet just kept spreading apart, and I was like, waddle back together. No.
Like a kid learning how to roller skate?
I mean, yeah, essentially. And I kept pulling my feet back together, like, no, you're not going to fall over while you're peeing at this urinal. Lord knows what's on this floor. Which leads well into the rest of my story, because I went to the bathroom, and as I'm getting to the door, I'm like, okay, now this is becoming much more of a need than a want. Like, this is going to happen soon. I need to get in there, and T-minus 10 seconds and counting, or something like that. So I go in there, and I see it's one of the one urinal, one stall situations. I look at the stall. It looks like there's somebody in there because the door's closed. So I'm like, great. Okay, let's look. Let's see, because sometimes that's not the case. So I duck under. You have to go pretty low, 'cause it's pretty low to the ground. I look under. No feet. Okay, maybe there's not actually anybody in there. I'm going to be brave. I could regret this. I could meet the eye of someone, and now we're never going to forget this moment. But I'm going to peek over and see if there's anybody there. So I slowly peek up over the top, and no one there. Nobody there. I was right. No, I'm sorry.
This story is so disappointing.
Yeah, I know. So then I push on the door. It won't budge. I'm like, did they seriously? Did somebody do the lock it and crawl underneath? Ha ha! I'm really funny thing. What's going on? So push. No, it's definitely not budging. Okay, this has to happen. Like, can't go to the women's room. I can't. This has to happen. So I do it. I sit down on the ground. I lay completely flat on my back. And I start wiggling.
Wait, you went on your back?
To get underneath, I'm not going to go on my face. That's worse.
But you have so much more control there.
There's enough control. But it was like I said, it was a pretty low to the ground. So I had to, kind of suck in a little bit while I was wiggling. And I was like, okay.
Were you going head first or feet first?
Head first.
Okay. This is going to be the first poll I ever put on our YouTube channel of what is the correct way to crawl under a bathroom stall, stomach up or stomach down, and you will find that you are in the wrong here, sir.
I disagree, because if you army crawl, you're on your front, and you don't want your front as dirty as your back. I'm sorry, you just don't. And when you're on your back, you're naturally laying flat. If you're on your front, it's really hard to get down flat and army crawl. So I think on your back is the way to go.
No. See, this is like in the Winter Olympics. The skeleton, where they go face first and they're grabbing the thing and they're steering, those guys look cool and they're in control of the situation. And then you're a bathroom floor loser, just letting gravity define your skill as an athlete. You're just going to wooka wooka wooka. Let what happens. You have no control. You have no vision. You're just looking up at the stars going, whoop-de-doo. I sure hope there's no turds on the floor.
I did hope that. You're right. I gave a cursory glance and saw no turds. Otherwise, this plan would have been out from the beginning. I'm just like, well, I'm pooping in a urinal for the first time. But that wasn't necessary. But if you'll let me finish my story, you'll find out that I was quite the loser. So I'm scooting, and I'm like, okay, this is taking way longer than I thought it would. Come on, okay, just force myself underneath. Come on, get under there. Let's pop up and let's get this done with. And as I'm forcing myself to scoot faster, I nudge the door, and the door swings outward. It was a pull, not a push. At this point, I'm under the door enough that I can sit up, and I sit up and have a real good chuckle at my own expense. Still nobody else in the bathroom, luckily, because I wouldn't want to explain that.
I was really hoping your father-in-law or the president or, I don't know, a nun would come through the door right then. But
a nun would come through the door of the men's bathroom.
A man nun. What are they called? A mun?
Isn't that what it's called when they have the little hair and they tie it up on the top of their head? A man nun? So I get in, and I again, laughing at myself, just like, you moron. Okay, make sure the door is locked now. It's locked. All right, do your business. And between getting in the stall and then I guess the normal time it takes me to poop, which, yes, is a longer than normal time, I guess. I get a text from my wife. Are you okay in there? Okay. Wrapping up. I'll be out. I think I said, be out soon, and I have a story to tell.
And she texts back, save it for Steve, I don't care.
Oh, no, I was already ready to tell it on a podcast. Don't worry about that. It's not like I can't tell it there and also here. It can be both. So I got back out there, and I just told on myself. I just went ahead and told the story. It's also worth noting that, okay, when you have somebody take you out for your birthday, or they want to show you a good time for your birthday or whatever, don't go to a place where they serve alcohol and make sure you're the only people drinking alcohol, not the birthday person. That sucks. This birthday dinner sucked because the food was colder than usual, which was not good. And so the food wasn't as good as it usually is. And my wife, her sister, and my brother-in-law all had drinks. And they're not exactly heavy drinkers, so they were all three sheets to the wind, essentially, or definitely inebriated enough that when I come back and try and tell my story, I have to scream it because they're all screaming different things at each other. I'm telling a story for at least 5 tables worth of people. And I got done telling the story, and my father-in-law, who had not had a drop of alcohol, said, I like a man who's not afraid to tell on himself. It's like, I know, Dad. I know.
Have I got a podcast for you?
Yeah, seriously. I would really like you to have a listen. So that was my birthday celebration night.
I'm so happy right now.
I don't remember what outfit that was. I've washed the clothes since then, so I know it's been washed, but I probably should have kept track of what outfit that was and just burned it when I got home. I don't know. I didn't worry about that. My wife was like, how could you do that? Like, literally, how could you get down on the floor of a public bathroom on purpose? And I was like, I mean, I knew what the alternative was, which was crap in my pants, so gotta do it. Turns out I didn't have to do it, but I thought I had to do it. And that's bad enough.
That's amazing. That's great. Man, I want to go tell my family now.
Just holler down the banister. Kids, honey, come listen to this story.
What I'm going to do, they're going to ask me as soon as I come out here. They're like, hey, why were you laughing so hard? Your show isn't that funny. I'm like, this time it was. You got to tune in next week and you're going to find out.
I love the thought of your family just listening to you laugh and then be like, what are you laughing about, dumbass? I've listened to your show. It's not that funny. Just love your family negging you for the one fun thing that you get to do all week. I get to do a podcast with my friend, and we enjoy it, and we laugh together.
We tell on ourselves.
Yeah, whatever. Give me a snack.
Great. That would have been a good name for the show, Telling on Ourselves. We're not restarting over, though. We're not counting again.
I don't think retooling the format is going to lose any listeners.
Yeah, but changing the RSS feed again might.
It's possible. One way to find out. Tune in next season for Telling on Ourselves.
So, I've told this story before, but it's been a long time, so I'm going to wager you don't remember. And if you do, pretend you don't.
So you're like a pastor. Yeah. You just tell stories again. It's like, well, there's somebody new out there that hasn't heard this before. It's like, no, there's not. I'm here. I've heard it.
Yes, but half the time you don't remember. It's like I'm allowed to tell my wife the same story and over and over again because she doesn't remember.
Yeah, that's also
the
true.
one benefit of early onset Alzheimer's.
I will say, before you tell your story, I watched The Bourne Ultimatum today for Film Sack. If you don't listen to Film Sack, give it a listen. It's a great rewatch movie podcast. They are watching it, so I'm like, I'll rewatch that. I haven't watched it in a while. I remembered almost all of that movie. I don't remember any movies, any media I consume anymore ever. So the fact that I was like, everything that happened in the movie, I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, it's totally like I remember. I was shocked at the recall that I had for that because it has to have been at least 15 years since I've seen that movie, I think. So, go me. I still have a memory.
Since you have the Bourne Ultimatum in your brain, I'm going to reference this. You know how that scene where he is telling the lady that he knows he knows everything about every exit and that which guys are a threat and which ones have weapons and all that stuff. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's me every time I feel a little queasy because I've been a janitor and I've had to clean up public barf. So anytime I've been remotely queasy, I'm counting steps to the exits. I'm counting potted plants I could barf in. I know exactly where I could barf and not inconvenience a fellow janitor. And I feel like Jason Bourne every time I do it.
Okay. I mean, we all want to feel like Jason Bourne in some way or another.
Yeah.
So if yours is trying to figure out where to barf, then whatever it takes to get you there, man. I'm certainly not going to be running from rooftop to rooftop, jumping through windows, chasing bad guys.
I figured it was either figure out the best place to barf or kill a dude. And I didn't want to do that. So I just figure out where all the trash cans are when I'm sick. Which I think everyone should do. If you barf on the floor in public, you are not doing your due diligence. No one just like all of a sudden barfs. There is always enough of a prequel where you're like, okay, I can figure something out. I might barf. If that comes to fruition, where should I go?
There's nothing like that sensation in life of like, I might barf. It's just like, sometimes it does sneak up on me a little bit, but there is definitely, there's moments where it's like, okay, should find a trash can. Can I find a trash can? Nope. Okay. Alternate means. What do I got? Get to a toilet? Nope. Can't get to a toilet. Okay.
Potted plant? A book?
Yeah, there's a plant. Book?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Barfing on a big book is better than just barfing on the floor because then you just throw that book away. Like a Where's Waldo?
Throw a book away?
You can put a lot of... Yes, you can throw a book away.
You can't. No, you can. But I feel so disappointed in myself if I barfed on a book. Like, come on, I could have planned better.
You did plan better than just barfing in your hands.
Maybe that's also why I keep at least one trash can in every room.
You should. If you don't have a trash
Planning
can,
ahead.
trash can in your room right now or something to barf in. So do you have any of those tubs in your house? Not like a bathtub, but like, those plastic tubs about yay big, yay deep. You know what I'm talking
Billions.
about? Bins?
Yeah.
You call them bins?
No, I said billions.
Oh, you have billions of them.
We have many of them,
Okay.
yes.
What do you call them in your family?
I do call them bins sometimes. Probably totes as well.
Totes are big, though. These are the little ones, the little goobers.
I mean, if it's smaller than like a bucket.
Okay. Yeah. So in my family, we didn't know what they were called. We were not smart people, and we didn't have the internet because it was 1985. So we just called them what we used them for. And those were barf buckets. Because if the kid was sick, you gave him a barf bucket, and they just carried that around the house with them for a week. And if they threw up in that. And so this vernacular has stuck in my head. And so we have a couple in my house, and I say, I'm just going to use the barf bucket, and I'm going to put a bunch of wood shavings in there and then throw it out. And my wife's like, why do you call it a barf bucket? I'm like, because I don't know the actual word for this thing, and I've barfed in them a lot. So to me, this is a barf receptacle. And vomitorium sounds snooty.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a portmanteau of vomit and auditorium. So it just sounds like it's a massive room where people just go to throw up. That's what I picture a vomitorium being.
I said vomit sexual. Vomit septicle? A receptacle for, respectus spew? I don't know. Barf bucket. It's just a barf bucket.
Seriously, Jason, you ruined it. If you want to express your displeasure with him, me, or the show in general, you can find us on Twitter. I am at Idahobo, and Jason is at the Jason Sigler. We also do a webcomics review podcast called Digital Strips.